Hi, Aries. This is the Healing Grasshopper here to do your yearly 2024 reading. So, this reading is for Aries Sun, North Node, and Rising. Um, I don't think not so much Moon for the year. So, um, for the monthlies, yeah, but for this yearly, no, because we are focusing on astrology. And um, we have cards pulled and we're going to do cards as well, but this is mostly focusing on astrology because this year there's a lot going on that's going to affect all of the signs in 2024. So I felt it was important to address it so that we can be aware of it. We're going to go through a lot of it, and it's going to be a lot of information. Don't worry about it. I know it's information overload. It was for me, but as each month comes, I'll remind you of what's happening and we'll go through all of it. So you can write this down on your calendars if you like, but it's not necessary because it won't be the first time we're talking about it. So let's start with the blanket energies. And I call them blanket energies. Oh, and even before we do that, I just want to let you know that I am not an astrologer. I am simply a tarot reader, but I do follow astrology, but there are some astrologers that I like to follow. There's Patrick Arundel and Gregory Scott and Terence Guardino, um, that I've extracted a lot of my information from this year. And there's also plenty of internet print like um, Astro Twins and um, Hindusan Times and stuff like that. I can't remember all of them. Many, many sources I've checked. So I just want to give credit where credit is due. And, I don't want you to think that I'm sitting there with the charts and extracting this myself because I'm not. Anyway, and I don't know any of those astrologers, by the way. This isn't a plug. I'm just giving credit where credit's due. So let's start with what I call blanket energies, which are energies that stay with us either throughout the year or through big chunks of the year, more than 1 month. So this information doesn't fit in 1 month, and then we'll do monthly. Um, so here's the biggest thing that's happening, and it affects all signs and the macrocosm as well. So here it is. The three outer planets, Pluto, Neptune, Uranus, are aligning and changing signs from 2024 to 2025. This is a very rare occurrence. Like it happens every, I think, just under 300 years, like 280 something. I don't know exactly the number, but it's very rare. Um, and it has the potential to create great upheavals in the macrocosm, the outer world, but seems to promise some very auspicious changes for many individuals on a personal level, the microcosm. So, if you're interested in what's happening in the macrocosm, you're really going to need to pursue that astrology yourself because I would rather not discuss this on my channel because some of it is quite upsetting and difficult, very, very heavy energies, disruptive energies in a way that I just don't want to talk about it. We'll let the astrologers deal with that. I'm just going to deal with things on a more direct collective. basis. Like, like I can't say individual, collective, if that makes sense. On a smaller scale. Um, so Pluto, Neptune, and Uranus, what does it mean in our personal lives? Is that for each sign it's different, but for you, Aries, well, for the all of the signs it means an overhaul of one's life. And for each sign, it's kind of at a different level. You see, we all ascend at different levels and all of us are in different places. For you, Aries, it's going to be, um, it's not going to be a complete switch into a new paradigm, but it's going to be working towards that switch to the new paradigm. And as the year progresses, you're going to feel more and more of that transition coming, right? So what I'm saying is that it's not going to be kind of like an Alice in Wonderland kind of, wow, I'm in a different world. But you're going to start to see signs where, I'm feeling different energies here, supportive energies, and I feel myself feeling more optimistic and clarity coming to me that maybe I can do the things that I want to do and that kind of thing. And then there will be some times of the year where you'll be discouraged and you're going to have to draw upon your energy and really weather the storm because it's going to pass very quickly. So I'm getting ahead of myself. Oh, so another important thing that we're just going to get into soon is that those heavy energies that I was mentioning um, are going to be kind of supported and buffered by other softening, buffering energies. So even though it might be a little difficult, you're going to have plenty of help from the universe. So you're going to need to remind yourself of that. Because if you're closed off to that help, you're going to make it more difficult for yourself. So anyway, let's get into it. Venus is direct all year, which makes it easier to focus and make viable plans without stops and starts and false starts that Venus can bring. So, some of you may be familiar with what Venus does in retrograde, which is it can do things like bring exes back out of nowhere. Like they call you and they're like, "Hey, what's up?" And you're like, "Well, that's weird." And Venus may make you feel groovy, like, oh yeah, it's a good idea to go and talk to my ex and rekindle things. And then as soon as Venus goes direct, you're like, oh my God, what the hell was I thinking? Am I nuts? Venus is notorious for doing that. So there's going to be none of that this year. So, which is going to be important because you're going to be building and you don't need that kind of energy where you kind of lose focus. So, none of that. So things are clear all year as opposed to retrograde, which can distort your perception of things, like I said. Expansive Jupiter and luxurious Taurus uh, has been, I don't know if the word, I didn't write it down. Jupiter has been in Taurus. Um, from May 16th, 2023, it came they came together until May 25th of 2024. So it happens once every 12 years and can bring luck and opportunities because it's in the second house of money, close to being in harmony with Saturn, which is favorable for money, for the world and individually. It's also time to enjoy luxuries like a trip to the spa or anything else that makes you feel luxurious. Now, I know that you guys are all questioning this. Like, wait a minute, you said this energy has been around since May 2023. So we're in it now, and I haven't felt any of that. That is because I haven't told you about Pluto being in Capricorn. And it's been in Capricorn since 2008. So some of the signs worse than others, like Capricorn, has really gone through it in the last 15 years because of this. Um, but everyone's felt that heavy energy where they feel like Sisyphus, like the rolling of the ball up the hill, and then the ball breaks free and rolls back down the damn hill again, and you gotta go back down and continue pushing it back up the hill, and you just get nowhere, and the rug gets pulled out from under you, and nothing seems to go right. It's been going on for 15 years. And if you guys stop for a second and think about it, you guys are going to be like, oh, yeah, it's been kind of bad, especially in the past 3 years. It's been like, I can't catch a break, right? So we've had some of these auspicious energies with us all this time, but with Pluto and Capricorn weighing all that down. So we haven't been able to enjoy any of these energies. But that's going to change this year. Okay. So the first thing that we're going, well, okay, let's go on to the rest of the blanket energies and we'll talk about what happens in January. So Saturn in Pisces every 29 and a half years it happens. It's been with us since March of 2023 and will be with us till February in your 12th house. Now it's time for spiritual connection and healing as well as emotional healing and mental hygiene. It'll be time to face one's shadow and identify what needs attention and cleaning up internally. So it's time to take responsibility in whatever area we need to in life, and at the same time forgive ourselves and others. This is a deep cleaning of fears and limiting beliefs that are holding us back. Okay, so there's going to be a clicking into energies where we'll be able to look around us and kind of pick up the pieces. Right now, we're still in that. Um, we're still in the hurricane kind of. That's about to end. Uranus in Taurus since 2018 to July 2025, with the general energy of disrupting long held beliefs and habits. And we all know habits die hard. So you see, rehauling of one's life also involves throwing out the garbage. So it's going to be a lot of hard work that we're going to be doing this year, but not in a heavy way, in a kind of whistle while you work kind of way. Okay, so those are the blanket energies. Let's start with January. So, before I tell you about the beginning of January, we're going to go backwards a bit and we're going to go back and talk about how I said Pluto has been in Capricorn since 2008. On the 20th, at the end of January, towards the end of January, it's going to peak into Aquarius, which is going to be a much angel singing, lighter energy. Um, in your 11th house of hopes and dreams, creating and manifesting dreams and doing things on our own instead of conforming to established rules. So we're not going to be weighed down by the rules of our tyrannical bosses and all that crap drudgery that we strum and drang that we need to take care of on a daily basis. That's going to lift, and you're going to be able to have more autonomy in your own life. And who knows, some of that may be leaving that job, or at least putting your foot down and saying that, I'm mad as hell, I'm not taking this anymore. Um, but now the key word is peak. It's going to peak back for a little while in January. So what's going to happen is that Pluto is kind of going to undulate back and forth between Capricorn and Aquarius all year, but that um but it's only going to go back into Capricorn so that we can have a clear vision of what wasn't working before and what we have to clean up. It's not going to be like that heavy Capricorn energy is going to bring doom and gloom like it's been in the previous years. So just be aware of that. Um, And then you see, so Capricorn's going to be like, wasn't this terrible? You need to fix this. And Aquarius is going to be like, look at how fabulous this can be if fix this. So that's the type of energy. So, but you're like, oh, we're going to have to wait until January 20th? No, because Mercury goes direct on the 1st of January, which allows more efficient communication, but note that there are only 3 periods of retrograde this year, which will allow more clear and direct communication. So, most people are familiar with Mercury in retrograde energy, where it makes things glitch and the printer's not working and the car won't start and all of those unpleasant things that go on in miscommunications and all that, arguments and all the business that Mercury creates. Um, so which we're in right now, by the way. Which is probably why I can't get my computer to my software for this video to stop glitching. It's driving me nuts. I spent hours trying to get it to stop doing that, and it's not. But hopefully that'll end when Mercury goes direct. So sorry about the glitching if it's getting on your nerves. There's nothing I can do about it. Blame Mercury. So Mercury, yay, goes direct on the 1st. So this Mercury direct is really going to feel like, oh, you're going to feel that relief right away. On New Year's Day, the sun's going to come out. Um, and I hope it's not a rainy day because you guys are going to be coming at me for that. Oh, so, so you'll be feeling inspired to look to the future and make plans. Looking at things with a fresh outlook, like the Hanged Man is coming to mind, and the sun. Like, oh, you can see clearly, and this is much different than the way I was seeing things before. So, the last thing that's happening in January of significance is that Uranus goes direct and has been retrograde since August 2023. It'll go direct on January 27th of 2024, which brings unexpected and miraculous changes, which continues into February. So now would be the time to take some calculated chances on things. Let's not be the fool that jumps off the cliff without really knowing what they're doing. You know, we know the Fool card can have dual meanings. Can mean having faith and taking the leap, or being an idiot and jumping off out of a plane without a parachute. Um, so let's. So what I'm saying is, um, January might be the time to pick up some lottery tickets. Not $300 worth of lottery tickets, $1 or two. This might serve you well. or any other things of chance that you might enjoy. Um, Gamble responsibly, please, guys. So let's get our first card. What did we pull? I promise you guys, I did not see these cards before. The Fool. What did I just say about the Fool? So, but the gambling responsibly, um, yeah, the spirit's not talking about the gambling responsibly. Spirit's more taking, this is more the energy of feeling fresh and new and having the wind beneath our wings to fly and jump off that cliff. Um, is what the fool is saying. Wow. You know, the other readings that I've done, um, it's amazing how Spirit has been giving me cards that have been really aligning with the astrology and very very straightforward messages, because sometimes Spirit will give me cards that are really obscure and you know I'm sweating to try and extract the meaning out of it sometimes, like clarity after clarity. I'm like, I don't hear you. And it takes a while to get the meaning, but not for these readings so far. Um, anyway, so the Fool. But anyway, maybe we'll get the Tower. Yeah, so the Tower is another kind of fresh new start kind of energies where in the previous years, everything's fallen apart, you know, but now we're clearing away the rest of the year is going to be about clearing away the rubble and rebuilding. Thank you, Spirit. Lovely. Um, it's very nice. The Tower was coming out in the January monthly readings for a few folks, and um, it's the first time in a long time where the Tower represented previous heavy energies, but like when I pull it out, it doesn't feel like, oh, it's kind of like, yay, the tower is welcomed, and it's just it's an odd energy. Anyway, odd feeling to have, fresh and new. um March. So right. So there's no astrology of significance to tell you about for February. So we'll just look at the Ten of Pentacles. Okay. Yeah. So Ten of Pentacles in the traditional Rider-Waite is the one with the pentacles everywhere, and you have a person at the mouth, at the door of a castle, greeting some travelers that are coming in. So, but you have it in reverse, which is not a bad thing. This is saying that you're not going to see it yet. This is this energy in here is going to be like you're going to think back to this reading and whatever else that you research on about this year and be like, I don't know what the hell they're talking about. You know, yeah, I'm working and everything, but I don't see results yet. You're not going to see results this early. It's coming, but be patient. Um, so let's go to March. Lunar eclipse in Libra in the seventh house of relationships, examining your relationships and what you might want to change. Is the focus for March. That's the only astrological event. So that's pretty much your energy here. Let's see what your card is. Death. What did I say about like the straightforward messages here. None of, wow. So, examining your relationships. So, there are going to be some relationships that you are going to be saying goodbye to. And this has been a theme throughout the entire Zodiac Collective that a lot of us have been dumping toxic relationships through the past 15 years, one after the other. So, this is what this is referring to. This is going to be the last of the cleanup before you move forward. And um, I want to warn you, you're going to have to be prepared for possibly being by yourself. And that's very true for me, where, first of all, I had a lot of literal deaths. And I'm not saying that's what this is for you. I'm saying for me, it was my entire I don't want to say social circle because, like I lost family too. My entire circle of people that I'm comfortable with completely went away. Like God really cleaned house for me. I really had to walk away from everybody I knew. It was kind of like, and I think I'm going to do a collective reading about this. It was kind of like, and very recently, like in the past 18 months, it happened where it was like awakening from being asleep or unconscious and realizing and waking up in a pile of horseshit and not realizing how you got there. Like, oh my God, I'm covered in horseshit. What the hell? That's what that was like for me and might be for you as well, where you really have this clarity like, wow, these people are really toxic. I didn't see it before, but I I'm gonna have to get rid of you. And by the way, that's very significant, this reversal of the Ten of Pentacles, because I said that Spirit, oh, I have chills now. That Spirit was talking about you're not going to see it yet. Part of it is because this toxicity is blocking it. Because I know in my own life, I had a very, very strong feeling after the fact and looking back in retrospect of because I'm a Capricorn, by the way, I'm a Capricorn sun, and Capricorns, um, all of us, are, we're very well known for our patience and perseverance because we're born with this light inside of us, deep, deep inside of us, knowing that no matter how bad things get, it's going to get better. And I've had that feeling my entire life since I was a little girl, knowing that someday things were going to go very, very well for me, and I was going to be gifted with abundance. Through my whole life, I felt like that. But I've been swimming through nothing but shites my whole life. But I knew it was coming. Yes, it was always coming, but the universe has been holding it back from me because the universe has been waiting for me to clean the toxicity out of my life first before they gave it to me. Because if you had gotten this Ten of Pentacles while you still have had this toxicity in your life, it would have polluted the whole thing. You see? So you have to purify your life first before you get this Ten of Pentacles. And that's what this death is about. Ooh, chills. Let's gotta drink a cup of water, a sip of water. Um, April. Solar eclipse in Aries, April 8th. In your sign, Aries, which will be a focus on self, what you want to change, or what you want to change or perfect about the way you present yourself to the world and the way you think about yourself as well. So again, a rehaul of your life. So this is rehaul of self, right? New outlook, looking back at what wasn't working and working on fixing it, cleaning house of relationships, dumping relationships, right? So you see a growing theme here. So, and now it's going to be working on self. Jupiter aligns with Uranus. It happens every 13 years. Um, so you see there's a lot of stuff that doesn't happen very often that's going to be happening all at once, which is this is the universe coming in and helping you clean house and build, you know, build your mansion type energy. It might feel heavy at times, but you're going to have a ton of help from the universe. Jupiter aligns with Uranus every 13 years on the 20th of April, can bring surprises and breakthroughs, can be a real turning point in our lives. I don't know what that turning point is going to be. Well, maybe we'll feel it more with here you are working towards um, your pentacles. Um, and again, maybe this is playing the lottery too. On top of, let's not have the attitude that, the universe is going to drop $1 million in our laps and all we have to do is sit back and, play video games. And that's not the case. There's quite a bit of work that we have to do. But, who knows? The universe might have some very helpful surprises coming to you. You know what? Let's get clarity for that. Spirit, can you give us a little bit of a peek of what the surprises? Whoa, Wheel of Fortune. Okay, so this is money, but it's reverse, right? So this is the same Ten of Pentacles, reverse. Um, yeah. So this may not be for some of you. Who knows? Maybe it is a lottery win but for some of it, it may be something like a call out of nowhere from your boss's competitor offering you a really lucrative deal, right? So not necessarily money falling in your lap in that moment, but some sort of occurrence that gives you, like a literal assurance that it's going to come. You you're going to get news of it type thing. So, yeah, where are we? March, April. So, May, we have Jupiter into Gemini. Um, on May the 25th to May 2025. So it's going to be here for a whole year starting in May. Um, so it's in your second house of finances and belongings, putting practical plans into action in terms of finances and oscillates with the third house, which makes it easier to communicate with others. So that's also going to be a theme where, for all of the signs, where, and especially in my own life, I was telling the Capricorn Collective, you know, uh, this really hits home for me because I've always felt out of step with the world, like kind of geeky in a way where people will often not understand my messages and not understand what I'm telling them, even um despite it being the most simple things. Like good morning can be misconstrued from me. Like I just said good morning. Like, like it's just been communication has been very, very difficult. And I feel that I communicate well. I feel like I speak well, but people still they don't get it. I don't know. I'm also an empath, so my empathic mirror gets in the way, and they project things, and it's made me feel like on top of these energies that we've been having, kind of giving me a complex, like what the hell is wrong with me? Why don't people understand me? You know, and I've come to understand that I'm not the only one. There's been a lot of the Capricorn collective has been feeling that way, and some of the other zodiac sign collectives have, expressed, different variations of that same feeling where they don't feel like they're seen or understood. And some of that energy is going to lift this coming year. Um, so there you go. Jupiter is expansive, and Gemini is a child of is ruled by Mercury, which is communication. So expansion of communication. So Jupiter is going to help you uh, communicate, is what this means. So Pluto retrogrades to Capricorn again, right? So we're not going to groan. It's going to let's think Capricorn. So Pluto and Capricorn is a clashing energies. So it's not the most fun energy, but it does help us really see what doesn't work in our lives. For so Pluto retrogrades from the 2nd of May to and will be with us until October 11th. So it's quite a long stretch, but again, not as heavy as it was before because we have all these other supportive energies helping us with this. So it'll be in your 11th house of hopes and dreams. You'll be reviewing what's been done already in the recent past and what you want to create moving forward, especially in regard to income. So, for all signs, in one way or another, there is a focus on income. And for you, Aries, um, you're no different. Um, but it's going to be happily putting in place the mechanisms for the money to flow. So let's see what we have here. Oh no, in regard to income, yes. Okay, so that's all we have for May. So Five of Pentacles. Okay, so Five of Pentacles in the traditional Rider Waite. Um, and by the way, this is the Vivid Journey Tarot, and I don't use it very often. Probably because we've been in such heavy energies. And, I decided, I don't want to use my regular Rider Waite working decks. Let's see what we have on the shelf. Um, I just felt compelled to use something different. I came upon this because, I really love the colors are bright and happy. It's a happy deck and it's very sweetly illustrated and I really like this deck. It's cute. Um, and it often brings lighter energies. Like look at death here. Death doesn't look so scary here. But anyway, so Five of Pentacles in the traditional Rider Waite is the one outside of the like the church, and it's snowing, and they're barefoot, and they're miserable, and it's just a miserable scene. Um, but here the message is much lighter. Um, Instead of them looking miserable and cold, this almost looks like a huddle here, you know? Like, yeah, things aren't perfect yet, but let's see what we can do to make it better. This is very much a card of hope, not misery. Um, so I think that message is pretty clear. I don't think, well, let's see. Let's see. Spirit, is there anything else that you want to add to Five of Pentacles? Five of Pentacles. You clarified Five of Pentacles for. Oops. Here we go. Here we go. Yeah. So here's another miserable scene. The Five of Cups, where here it is up in the corner, where he's looking at spilt milk here. He's completely unaware of the fact that he has two full cups over here, you know? So that's what this is talking about, but it's in reverse for you. So what Spirit is trying to say is, have this huddle energy and enthusiasm for the future. Be careful not to be looking in the past like, oh, because you're coming out of this energy. Don't hold on to this energy because you have free will, huh? No matter what the universe, um, no matter what atmosphere the universe places around you, if you want to have a bad attitude about it, then, there's going to be nothing the universe can do for you. So, work with the universal energies instead of resisting it, is pretty much what Spirit is saying here. So, June. Saturn goes retrograde. There's just the one thing. Saturn goes retrograde on the 29th and will stay retrograde until the 15th of November in your 12th house of spirituality. Let me get a little sip. In your 12th house of spirituality, feeling supported or challenged by spirit. Lessons in trusting intuition. So again, so that was my own note. I put in challenged because I felt the attitude there. Which, by the way, those of you who haven't seen the January reading should really look at January 2024 because I'm pretty sure it's you guys that had the failure to launch that respectively, guys. I'm not trying to be obnoxious, like saying, "Oh, you have to fix your attitude, you stinking thinking." But some of you, like, look, the truth is that you've been through it, and it's very, very hard to emerge from that heavy energy, that depression, that resentment, all those energies that if we hold on to them can be toxic and can really throw a wrench into what's being placed in front of us that's good for us. So the atmosphere for June is going to be the universe bringing to you, um, how do you put it? Like calibrating your third eye, right? We're all in a different level of intuition, but there is an awakening happening with everyone, and where the universe has really been trying to awaken each of us one by one and open our third eye, and not all at the same time and at the same force. Everyone's at a different level, but whatever level you are in, the universe is going to try and massage your third eye and your crown chakra so you're able to receive guidance. So the only thing that's going to block that guidance is this attitude here. Okay? So And I'll remind you again as the months come, like this is coming. So anyway, May. Hmm. Yeah. So June. Our card for June is Eight of Cups. So Eight of Cups in the traditional deck is the one. It's one of my favorite cards. I love that card. Um, of the guy walking off into the distance with the cards upright behind him, which I always love to see this card because um, I always have a sense of pride when I pull that card out. Like, um, good for you. You know, you've left those cups behind. And the cups are not spilled like the Five of Cups. Um, the cups are upright, and you have the strength to walk away from them. So these are things that you know that you have to leave behind you. And this might be, toxic relationships that you may love these people or this job situation, whatever it is, doesn't have to be people, but whatever it is that you kind of felt comfortable in or held dear to your heart or whatever, that you're feeling the strength now to leave behind you because you know that there's something better. There's growth there. So that is the energy for June. And again, feeling supported by spirit to do it, or spirit challenging you to do this, right? You're going to get a nudge to do this. It's up to you. You have free will, but the spirit is going to urge you to do this. Thank you, spirit. Lovely. That's a really nice message. Um, so yeah, I don't need to clarify that. July, it brings North Node transit to Aries. Right? So, see, this is a very important year for everybody, but especially for you, Aries. There's a lot happening for you. North transit to Aries happens, um, goes through all 12 signs every 18 and a half years. So it's going to come in July and be with us until January uh, 2025. It's time to follow one's own compass and disregard outside chatter. Okay? So again, the cleaning of house, and this is um whatever, because all of this over here is the reconfiguring and yes, dumping of baggage that we've been emphasizing here, but this is also building new things, right? And you're going to have naysayers um, telling you what you should do or shouldn't do, or, you know, your parents telling you, no, are you crazy? You can't leave that job that's you make X amount of money in. You can't leave your comfort to go be a musician. Are you crazy? But you're going to have a very, very strong convictions of what you want out of your life, and you're going to be very, very tired of conforming to other people's ideals, which is what spirit is going to be reminding you of all year. So July, the only other thing is Neptune retrogrades from the 2nd of July until December 7th, 2024, with an influx of new ideas, newly forming dreams, not necessarily implementing them, but dreaming them. So, right? So here's that energy brewing here, cleaning house. And now the fun part is going to be starting here. But you're still going to have a tug of kind of toxicity on your new dreams, but you're going to be breaking free of that. Um, Nine of Wands. Okay, so there's going to be, there might be some doubts. Like, is this going to work, right? Because time to follow one's own compass. Remember? Disregarding outside chatter. All of this is your feeling of the outside chatter. This is you with your own conviction and what everyone else wants you to do. And this is you at whatever level of confidence that you're in. But it's natural to have doubts. It's okay. But I'm going to be reminding you, whose idea is this? Is this your idea? Or your father's idea, your mother's idea, your spouse's idea, your kid's idea? Whose idea is this? Because if it's not your own idea, well, how do you feel about it? Don't worry about what everyone else feels about it, right? Because what you feel about something, right? What you feel comes from your heart, your heart chakra. And your heart chakra isn't, it's part of your upper chakras. It's connected to your third eye, your intuition, and your crown chakra, your receptivity to guidance from the universe that's being calibrated, you see, right? So this is going to be like, I don't care what all you guys are talking about. I'm going to follow my own convictions. So let's get to August. August, Saturn squares Jupiter. It might bring a brief questioning of ideas and pessimism. Okay? Natural. This is Saturn. So Saturn, Jupiter is expansion. Saturn is all about putting the brakes on things and being cautious. Um, which, you know what? An ounce of caution never hurt anybody, you know? Saturn's there to put the brakes on things to make sure that you don't get carried away with your dreams. Like, okay, let's be careful and not jump off the sheer cliff, right? Let's be the fool in a smart way. Okay, so we have the Queen of Swords. Ah! Wow. So, yeah, you're going to be working through some things. Yes, it's going to be pessimism. But, Spirit, wow. But, like, like, don't be a dick about it. Say, I'm sorry. I had to say it. It's just what came into my mind. You're going to have to watch your temper, pretty much. This is what Spirit is saying. Like, hold your tongue. The Queen of Swords in reverse is, first of all, the Queen of Swords is an energy of not taking the BS, right? She's very good at seeing BS and she's very good at cutting it down. When she sees it, it's done. She's shutting it down. She doesn't want to hear it. You're done. But the Queen of Swords in her shadow can be harsh. She's got a sharp tongue. So be careful. Yes, for you to follow your own convictions, and you might every now and then tell people to F off and or don't tell them to F off. That's the whole point. Oh my gosh, I'm like undulating back between the energies. You're gonna feel like telling people to F off, but find a more Find a more diplomatic way of saying it, is what I'm trying to say here. Okay? So, anywho, the whole thing is that I forgot. You're a fiery Aries. Oh my God. Listen, I don't have to tell you guys. You know, when someone pisses you off, I. Be careful pissing off an Aries. Aries and Scorpio. You, Lord help someone who pisses off these people because you're gonna catch it. So just tone down the fire. Turn it down a little. Um, Aries, I love you guys. You guys are one of my favorite signs because I am Capricorn sun. So Aries always brings like the spontaneity and the fun. I'm always, if I go to a party, I'm very, very good at finding the Aries in the room because I am always attracted to you guys are the most fun. Um, but boy, when you guys are angry, look out. Anyway, so September. Uranus goes retrograde on the 1st and will be with us until January 30th, 2025. Creating, provoking, and empowering change. That's a shocker. That's what we've been talking about all year. Lunar eclipse in Pisces also happens on the 17th of September. A very spiritual, right? Very spiritual atmosphere, right? Because this is the moon spiritual, subconscious energy, eclipse in Pisces, the most spiritual and psychic sign in the zodiac, right? So it's going to bring you to everyone that energy. A very spiritual atmosphere, leading spirit, letting spirit guide you in your choices and taking practical actions, but at the same time grounding and not letting yourself get carried away with too much dreaming because that's Pisces shadow is that they can dream a little too much as we have important work to do. Keep a record, I said. Keep a record with my note. Um, so this is something that I've suggested for almost everybody. There's going to be an influx of information from spirit the whole year. All sorts of ideas that you're going to be like, wow, that's a great idea. Where did that idea come from? It's just going to leap. You're going to get downloads. Um, some of them really practical and you're going to be able to implement them right away. Others are going to be pretty lofty and you're going to be like, wow, that's kind of an interesting idea, but how the hell am I going to do that? Lunar eclipse in Pisces is kind of going to bring that atmosphere, but write them down, even if they sound cuckoo. Because later you might look in this journal or wherever you record it, and it might not seem so cuckoo, or the energies that are presenting it themselves might be conducive to you actually pulling them off. So, you know, if they feel lofty, don't disregard them, just write them down. So, yeah, that's all that's happening for September. Let's see what we have. We have Five of Wands. Yeah, so this is the empowering change. So the Five of Wands is the one in the Rider Waite where there's a bunch of people with wands kind of sparring together, which is a benign energy. Sometimes it can mean fighting, but rarely is. What it really represents is dynamics. Um, so yeah, this is going to be an active putting together logistics, and logistics has been a word that's come up a lot in readings for this year. It's focusing on how to implement things. Um, mhm. let's uh, let's get a clarifier for this one. Got it here. Five of Wands reversed, right? So, um, yeah, when I picked up the deck, I kind of felt like, yeah, I don't need to clarify this, but yeah, what the hell? So here we are. The spirit agrees with me. I don't need clarifications. This is the spirit's way of saying you heard me. Um, but okay, if you want clarification, here I'll give you a little more of the same message that I already gave you, which is um you're going to be this is what works, what doesn't work, pretty much. You're going to be sorting through that. And you know, identifying what's toxic and what doesn't work, and just um being sure that you keep a positive energy while you're doing it, pretty much. Yeah, what works, what doesn't work. Anyway, we have no, sorry, October. Solar eclipse in Libra. Excuse me, on the 2nd. Let me get a slurp. Solar eclipse in Libra on the 2nd. A time to examine relationships through self. So that's introspection, right? So, yes, this is examining how you really. So, okay, so you've gotten rid of a lot of toxic people. Now you have the people left in your life, the most important people in your life that you don't just discard. These might be family members, spouses, children, um, close friends, uh, that kind of thing. It could even be coworkers, whatever, non-frivolous relationships. Um, a time to examine relationships through self, um, where we are examining our own, the way we relate to people. We might be Aries, like we were talking about, how you can be kind of abrupt and caustic when you speak. You might be adopting some different methods of getting your point across that um, involves more honey instead of vinegar, that kind of thing. And I'm not saying it's that specifically, whatever it is that you may come across that spirit wants you to address about the way you relate to other people. So this is, before it was about how you're observing other people's behaviors and how they affect you and what you want in your life and that kind of thing. But this is more like, you know, how what you do and what you bring to relationships, and how that might be healthy or unhealthy or toxic or whatever, and how you want to change it because of how these relationships might be important to you, and you want to contribute positive change in your relationships. So Jupiter goes retrograde on the 9th to on the 9th of October to February 4th, tying up loose ends and reassessing and perfecting ideas and plans. So here we are, back to the fun part of, you know, putting together the logistics of our new life, our fifth dimensional um, heaven on earth life. So let's see what we have. The sun in reverse. So the sun in reverse. So the sun represents pretty much two things, which is clarity and happiness, a sense of well-being, right? So what Spirit is saying here is that some of this might not be fun. The examining self is might not be fun. The reassessing and perfecting ideas and plans, I'm not sure that the sun relates so much to that. Maybe the reassessing might be disappointment of the things that you're not going to be able to do right now, maybe. Um, but no, this relates more to the time to examine relationships through self. Yeah, shadow work is pretty much what it is. This is the sun and shadow, right? So this is the sun coming in to shed light on your shadow, which is not fun. That's pretty clear. I don't need a clarifier for that. Um, there's nothing significant of astrological significance happening in November that I could really see. So we just have a card. So the Hermits is exactly what I. Oh dear, it damages this card. Um, exactly what I just said. Shadow work. That's part of what the Hermit does. And here's kind of the sun. This is your inner light, following your compass and taking a light in the shadow, right, that surrounds him. It's really examining what's inside of you. Wow. The Spirit could not have given us a better card for in this spot. It's amazing. Um, so December, Mars goes retrograde in December. Is the only thing that's happening. From the 6th of December to February 23rd of 2025 might bring motivation overdrive. So keep it in check. If not, it can end up wrecking plans instead of growing them and might end up crushing people's feelings. Yeah, man. It's so funny. Spirit was warning you about this before with the Queen of Swords. Aries, be careful, okay? You guys can have a lot, and you know what? We're gonna get to it. Well, I'm gonna remind you when we get to December. And I'm not doing this to shake my finger at you guys or anything. I'm telling you this because I love you guys and I just don't want you to set fires with your fiery energy that you don't intend to set. So, and Mars is very fiery energy. It can bring, bad moods and anger, rage in a retrograde, adding to your own natural inner fire. So, careful in December. Careful the whole year because it's going to be, you know, it's going to be fun but difficult and heavy lifting at the same time. So, you know, don't be grouchy. I love you, Aries, so much. We're not finished yet, though. Here's the last card. We have Nine of Pentacles. Okay, so Nine of Pentacles is very much like the Empress energy of her. Um, she's very comfortable. So this is a message of Aries. Take it easy. It's coming. Your heaven on earth and your ideal life is is brewing, and you are going to get that feeling. You're going to have glimpses of it here and there throughout the year, little sprinkles of that feeling. But, you know, this is you're going to start, it's going to start brewing more here. And Spirit's going to remind you again when we get to that December reading. It's coming. Okay. You're not going to be lying in horse shit the whole time. Okay. So, in review, your words, your key words and phrases. The whole year, like I said, is going to be a rehaul of one's life and image. So, number one is luck and opportunities and income. Yay, that's the fun part of the year. Two is self care with spiritual and emotional healing and allowing a few reasonable splurges in luxury. Um, right? Because if you remember in the beginning of the reading, I was talking about blanket energies. So the Jupiter in Taurus, and it's about um, the luxuries like the trip or staycations, that kind of thing. Throughout the year, you're gonna have opportunities to enjoy yourself along with all the heavy lifting. It's gonna be a fun year. So three is building a connection with spirit and listening to one's inner compass. Four is shadow work and relieving oneself of toxins, inner and outer. Five, an evaluation of relationships and a general situations. An evaluation of relationship and general situations, taking action for change, including how we communicate with others. With the planets aligning to help you accomplish it all. Auspicious time indeed, guys. It's going to be a great year. What I liken this to is kind of moving into a new home where, um, it was an estate sale or whatever, and the house needs some work, and there's still some furniture and things that you still have to clean out of the house and things you have to repair and stuff. And it's a lot of work to do and everything. And some of it's pretty dirty, but you're still enjoying doing it. You're whistling because it's your new house, you know, and you see the potential of this new house. So that's what I want to leave you with. Those heavy energies that we've been feeling all these years are lifting, guys. And I think some of you, before you even open this reading, really are starting to feel that lifting of energy. So if you haven't yet, it's coming. I love you, Aries. Stay fabulous. Speak to you soon.